Hey guys, it's Jen here, and today I am bringing you a Mounjaro weight loss update. I have been patiently waiting to see if all of the effort and changes that I put into July resulted in any weight loss, and I'm happy to report that I'm now down 88 pounds. I lost 5 pounds in July. I broke that scale out first thing yesterday morning. I don't know, I needed to know if all that hard work paid off, and that might have been the longest I've ever gone without weighing myself since I started taking Mounjaro back in March of 2023, and a long 31 days it was. And yes, prior to my weigh-in at the start of the month of July, I got confirmation that I did in fact gain 2 pounds. And, which is why, saying there for a little while that I lost 83 pounds instead of 85 pounds. And this, was a little bit of a reset of sorts. And I just want to say, gaining a couple pounds is not the end of the world. I don't want to come off that way, but, I was creeping back into some snacking, especially later at night, and I needed to just refocus and take a look at if there are any changes that I can make that maybe I didn't realize, was causing this weight gain along, the way, like the what and when I was eating. And yes, summer gets busy. You got more last minute meals out, parties, beach trips, but that's not an excuse because I could have been making some better food choices while out. And 5 pounds may not seem like a lot to lose in a month, but I was in a stall for a couple weeks. And even though the cards really are kind of stacked against me because my doctor decreased my dose, I've just been now trying to lose weight for a little over 16 months. That's a long time. And, I still am determined to improve my eating and changing, my mindset, and that, I need to go to the gym. And it's more of I want to go to the gym and I want to get up and do my daily walks. And it's flipping that switch to, I think made a big difference with my mindset. And like I said, it's no longer I need to do this. And the past 31 days hasn't been easy, let me tell you that. There were some days that I just want to be like, all right, enough. I'm throwing in the towel. I want to just go and get a big tub of ice cream and enjoy myself. But I pushed through because I just really, I'm starting to realize how important, health and my happiness is. And I also committed just to the month of July only as to not overwhelm myself, with long term. Yes, I think long term is important, but doing short term challenges for me helps me kind of flip a switch every once in a while. So I created a little simple plan for July that focused on hitting my daily macros, going on a daily walk, which kind of averaged around 2.5 miles. And I varied the tempo, and some days, I did 17-minute miles, and others I did 18, and then I did hills, and, I hit the gym, 4 days a week for strength training with a new lifting block. And, after about a week, I started to settle into my new workout routine. And I was also like a camel, and I was constantly drinking, and I was putting my electrolytes in the morning and then a stick of Prime Hydration later in the day, just add a little flavor to my water. And I know I was definitely hitting my water goals because I felt like I was making way too many trips to go to the bathroom to pee. But I just kept saying, this is a good thing. I'm staying hydrated. This is important. And, I felt like I was also slacking a little bit with hydration in June. And water is extremely important when you're taking Mounjaro and Zepbound for weight loss. And we all know that. And then I did some recovery days at the gym because they have hydro massage tables and I love them, obsessed with them. I use them all the time, but I also got hyper focused on, hydration, sleep, curbing the bouts with fatigue and, some of the hunger I was having later in the afternoon and evenings. And I also, focused on my nutrition mainly this past month. And I said it, goodbye to those occasional takeout meals and the snacking. And I was opting for more fresh, whole foods that made a world of a difference. I think just within that first week, I could feel the bloating decrease and I had just a little more energy than I had in the weeks prior. And when I went into this July challenge to kickstart my Mounjaro weight loss, I originally said, let's try to go 31 days without any snacks. And I hate to say that would be kind of labeled unhealthy, like cookies, chips, and chocolate, because those all started creeping back in. But I had to remind myself that that's not a goal of mine for the long run. So I picked a couple times throughout the month where I could enjoy a treat. And I'm no longer calling it a cheat anymore. I want to use the term more like a treat. So I treated myself to some ice cream when I was at the beach, and then I had some barbecue to accompany outing, and then a cookie every once in a while. But outside of a couple treats, I really worked on my meal planning and trying to get in just a little more protein. And I also started researching a little bit more on like how to kick weight loss stalls after a big weight loss or a long-term weight loss plan, and how to kickstart it when you're taking Mounjaro and Zepbound. And the common themes were switch it up, which is not me. I'm a boring eater and I'm just set in my ways and my routine. And then I thought I was doing a lot of the same things, like, what I was eating, when I was eating it. And I think my body started to adapt to it. And because like halfway through the month of July, I was like, let me start tracking my food again, not to critique it, but to look at my macro breakdown from each meal. And I noticed that over the past couple weeks, I was more carb heavy at dinner. But when I first started taking Mounjaro, for weight loss, I really did more carb stacking earlier in the day with breakfast and lunch and a snack. And then my dinner had like next to no or little carbs, which came from veggies, or maybe some breading on my chicken. And I think this could explain a little bit of why I was having some crashes later in the afternoon where I would get very, very tired around 2:30. And it was probably because I was eating a lot less carbs and protein was a little bit on the low side for breakfast and lunch. And I think sometimes it's a good thing to take a step back and just reevaluate, because for the last 2 weeks of my challenge, the last 2 weeks of July, I started slowly making those changes, and I was learning more about how my body was responding after certain meals and how I was feeling, after workouts. So, for example, I made such a simple change, and that was to get in more carbs and fiber at breakfast. And that really was just me adding in something as simple as an apple. Usually I just have my protein coffee, but my body has really started to respond to this change. And then at lunch, I started making, a little bit of like avocado toast with, 2 eggs. Sometimes I would do 1 egg and some egg whites. And, along with a veggie like some peppers or cucumbers thrown into the mix. Or, I also did turkey, lettuce, avocado on some sourdough, bread from Wegmans. And I might start making some bread again. But my snack staples, now it's cottage cheese and celery. But I'm having a serving of pistachios with it because I need to be adding some more additional fat and, also a little bit of carbs to round out my day. And for dinner, I started to meal prep. And this is something I rarely did in the past. I would plan my meals, but I would prepare them same day. But, it's been really nice out this summer. And I was like, why am I not using the grill more? So I started making, steaks. I do steaks on Sunday. Then I have some chicken thighs and chicken breasts I make up and some shrimp. So I have it all in hand for dinners, for the next couple days in the week, and then have a simple veggie with it for dinner. And, sometimes I throw in a piece of cheese because I might need a little extra calories. But I've actually been really loving these changes. And I also feel like it's not overcomplicating things, and it's something that I can do. And, sometimes it's okay to admit that you need to change some things up. Even though I've found some success eating a certain way the past year and a half, my body was slowly telling me that it needed to make a change, but it took a couple weeks for me to sort that out. And I still think I need to work with a professional on, eating and figuring out well-balanced meal plans. And I'm talking to a couple different, options, but I think that's going to be key for me really hitting my goal of 100 pounds and then eventually maintaining it. And, we'll also see what happens with my future dosing, because after sorting some things out with my insurance company, I actually may not be covered for Mounjaro starting in August. But, thankfully, I do have enough to get me through the end of the year. That would mean, though, that after I have 3 weeks of 7.5 milligrams, and then I would drop down to 5. But that could all change if my PA gets approved, so we'll see. But if it keeps getting denied, I've decided I am going to sign up for, Join Fridays and either work with them to get Mounjaro approved, or I will go down the compound route and work with, their professionals. But the one thing that I'm battling again is that I feel like I'm starting to work a little bit of overtime to see the weight loss. Whereas like in the past year with Mounjaro, I'd be able to eat in a slightly, lower calorie deficit, work out 4 days a week and see myself losing weight. And it's just an area that I'm aware of right now. And I love building healthy, sustainable habits, but I shouldn't have to exercise every day and overanalyze what I'm eating. So quite possibly 7.5 is too low for me to lose, but I may have found my actual maintenance dose for, a couple months as I get to my maintenance area down the road. And I'm not saying losing weight should be, easy. It just shouldn't, it feels like it's a little difficult right now. And then again, I wouldn't be on Mounjaro if that was the case. I think it's the story of my life, and that's okay. I'm okay with it. I am also doing an in-body scan later today to look at some additional numbers. I can get one monthly at the gym. So I did one on July 1st when I started my challenge, and then, I'm going to do one, August 1st. And even though I'm happy with that 5-pound weight loss, I really want to see, my skeletal muscle mass. I want to see if my visceral fat has decreased, and maybe I'll do a video comparing my very first in-body scan that I did back in March of 2023 to the one that, I am just getting done today. I think that would be fun to see the progress that I've made. And I also did some throughout, the past year and a half, but I think it's more than just a weight loss total. But overall, I just feel like these small changes to my diet had that positive impact. And, some of these can be sustainable for many, many, many more weeks as I try to keep chipping away at my weight loss goal. But this journey is far from over. I've still got a lot of goals to crush, some milestones to reach, and I'm just very grateful to have, all of you cheering me on every step of the way. I really do love reading your comments, and, I also love to cheer you on as well. And I'm doing a walking challenge in August where I am going to be walking 100 miles throughout the course of the month of August. And I got a new pair of sneakers from a local company called Racin, and I think that's such a cool name. I just learned about them from my local running store, and I usually just wear, running sneakers to walk. And I've been learning so much about the difference between, walking versus running sneakers. And usually most walking sneakers, and in my opinion, look a little tad orthopedic for me, and I'm okay saying it, but I've tested these sneakers out the past, couple walks that I've done, and they are now my go-to sneakers for my 100-mile challenge. I will link the company below if you want to check them out. But I've also battled plantar fasciitis in the past, and so far I've had no flare-ups, and they are just so comfortable. And that's why I want to tell you about them. And I noticed, my legs were also feeling a little sore after that 2 to 3 mile walk where I'm out on the pavement. And my On Clouds that I do love, when I wear them, I have to foam roll when I get back because my legs feel a little tad heavy after walking, and they're technically running sneakers. And I never realized I had to wear walking specific sneakers, and I'm glad I learned about this company called Racin. Now I'm obsessed. I may need to go get some more colors, and anybody that knows me knows that I have a slight obsession with sneakers. And now combined with my new love of walking every day, as my form of cardio, either outside or on the treadmill, they have definitely found a new customer. And I need to protect my feet and my back. And these are so far, these sneakers have not let me down. And so, yeah, that's it for my July update. I'm so happy to have a positive update for all of you. Thank you for joining me on this incredible Mounjaro weight loss journey so far. Be sure to stay tuned for, some more updates and tips and, how you can, achieve your weight loss goals with Mounjaro and Zepbound. And remember, you've got this, and I'm right here with you every step of the way because I've been there and I'm also going through it. And now those steps are happening in my new Racin sneakers, but I'll see you in the next video. Bye.